Hey guys, welcome back. Let's chill and talk again. So, today I want to talk about the self improvement trap, the self help trap that I think many people have fallen in, that I've definitely fallen in, and I want to talk about my personal experience and how I view and approach this topic. I've been thinking about this topic for a while, but I hadn't verbalized it yet. I hadn't written it down. And a few days ago, I think a couple days ago, Dr. K posted another video, and this was the exact topic. Let me just pull that up. It is. Oh, I'm talking about the channel HealthyGamerGG, by the way. The title of the video is How Self-Improvement Makes You Unhappy. And there's a meme of the 24-year-old improver. And it's a great video. Go and watch it. Whether you're addicted to self-help in terms of consuming content, or whether you're addicted to self-improvement in the sense that you're improving, but you're only improving for the sake of improving, then I highly recommend watching the video. It's a bit long. It's two and a half hours. I haven't watched the entire video, but you'll get a lot of valuable information in the first hour. I only watched 1 hour. I need to continue watching it. But anyway, I want to talk about it from my perspective. Seeing as I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, I don't have expert knowledge when it comes to psychology, but I have a lot of experience being addicted to self-help and self-improvement content without actually implementing the information I've learned. And Dr. K used a Reddit post as an example, and that really resonated with me. And I hope this resonates with you too. So I don't remember when it started. I think I started getting addicted to self-help and self-healing, self-improvement content in university. And I've been struggling with negative emotions, depression, anxiety, fears for quite a while now, for on and off for about a decade. So I didn't have any catalyst per se to why I started consuming self-help, self-improvement content. I think I was just dissatisfied with my life and my circumstances, and I wanted to learn how to heal, how to better myself, and how to change my life in every aspect. So I started changing the people I followed on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube. I started to mostly watch and consume self-help and self-improvement and self-healing content, but I would consume and consume and consume without doing anything about the information I've learned. And like the Reddit posts that Dr. K showed, I was basically just collecting information and not doing anything about it, not improving my life in any way or applying the knowledge that was shared. I would just consume the content. And I found a really great analogy for this addiction, this self-help trap. So I hope you're good with analogies, because I love analogies and I get really deep into them, and it might be hard to figure out what I'm talking about and how it relates to the topic, but please stick with me. So imagine that you're hungry, right? You feel the discomfort of the hunger. You feel your stomach aching and you want to eat food. And you're living in a forest full of food. You have access to an abundance of different varieties of plants, mushrooms, berries, fruits, a bunch of food just out there. So you're like, all right, let me go foraging for food so that I can come home and eat the food. So you go out to forage with your basket and you just start picking plants and berries and mushrooms. You're like, oh, look at this mushroom. This is surely edible. You put it in your basket. You find a berry. Oh, this looks delicious. Let me put it in the basket. Oh, look, this is mugwort. Oh, look, this is dandelion. Oh, look, this is an apple tree. Like, you start just picking all the fruits and herbs and vegetables you come across in the forest. And you keep picking. And each time you pluck something, it gives you a sense of relief. You forget you're hungry. You're so excited. You feel inspired and you feel hopeful. And you just feel happy that you found this piece of food. So you carefully put it in your basket. After you put each item you foraged, you feel the hunger again. You remember that you're hungry and you need to fill your stomach. It's getting more and more uncomfortable. The pain is increasing and you're starting to starve. So you look at your basket and you go, surely this isn't enough food to fill my stomach. It hurts a lot, so I should continue foraging for more food. So you continue foraging, and every time you pick something up, you feel a sense of relief. This will surely fill up my stomach. And you feel excited that you get to eat this. And yet again, once you put it in your basket, you feel the pang of hunger. And you say, this much food surely isn't enough. I'm missing something. I know I'll find an even more satisfying piece of food. So you continue foraging. And you've been foraging for hours now. And your basket's full of food. But it's not solving the starvation you've been feeling. It's not solving the hunger. And you look at the food has started to rot now. The food has become all mushed together. You can't make out what you foraged. All of it just became this big clump of organic matter, and you don't know how to eat this food now. You don't know what to do with it. So you're stuck starving with a basket full of mushed food, and you don't know how to satisfy this hunger. And it feels uncomfortable. But what you do know is when you're foraging for food, every time you find something you can eat, you feel a sense of relief and you forget about your hunger and your pain. So do you go back home and try to figure out how to eat this food, or do you continue to forage? Do you even know how to prepare and eat this food that you've collected? I think that's how the self-help trap feels like. You're collecting all this knowledge, all this information on how to help yourself, how to improve your life, how to transform yourself, how to change your life for the better. But you're not actually implementing that advice. You're not implementing anything. And all that information becomes this big clump that you don't know what to do with. You don't know how to use this information to satisfy the need and desperation you feel to change your life, there's still something missing, and you think it's information that is missing, but it's not information. You're not missing any information. You have too much information. You just don't know how to apply it. There is also something else that you're missing and you're neglecting. Your emotions. You're neglecting your emotions. You're neglecting the hunger that you feel. You're trying to ignore it. You're trying to push it away. You're trying to ignore the hunger pangs, right? Because you don't know how to fix this problem. You don't know how to make these negative emotions go away. And if you don't know how to cook food, right? Let's say you come home with all the foraged food from the forest. You're still looking at the clump of food, and you don't know how to prepare food. You don't know how to cook the food. What do? Do you throw everything in the fire and hope it works and just eat the charred food? Do you ask a friend for a good recipe and try to figure it out yourself? Or do you ask for professional help and ask a professional cook to show you how to cook the food? The best option is to ask a professional cook to show you how to cook the food and teach you the fundamentals of food preparation, so that when the cook leaves, you have the skills to prepare basic meals for yourself and satisfy your hunger in a meaningful way, not just ignoring and pushing the hunger aside, hoping it'll go away on its own. Because it's not going to go away on its own. Yeah, the hunger comes back every few hours, but if you know how to cook and how to eat the food, then you'll be able to meaningfully satisfy your needs, have your needs met, and thrive, right? So Dr. K says that because we basically solve the negative emotion we're feeling by consuming the content, the brain doesn't feel the motivation or the need to actually act on the information, because receiving the information is enough to feel positive emotions and fix the situation. So when you come across self-help content, reading it, watching it inspires you, fills you with hope and excitement for the future. You feel like you can actually change your life now. And once you start feeling that inspiration and positive emotions, the negative emotions of shame and guilt and regret, all those negative emotions that pushed you to seek that content in the first place, is gone now. And because it's gone, it's easier to not do anything about it. It's easier to fix these negative emotions by consuming content rather than putting in the effort and hard work and time to actually change your life, to implement the information you've collected. So what Dr. K suggests is to sit with the negative emotions and have those negative emotions push you to act in real life, to actually implement whatever information has stuck with you, and just act on the desire to change your life for the better. So that would require limiting your screen time, completely removing your phone, your laptop from your room, or shutting off the internet, whatever measures you need to take to stop consuming content, and sit with those negative emotions until they propel you to act. I still think something is missing though, because I've personally started to implement the changes I've been wanting to make, and if you've watched my other videos, you'd know that I've been on this content creation journey since August 2024. So it's been a few months of me actively implementing the information I've collected so far. Not all of it, but at least trying to actively change my life. I'm actively trying to change my life for the better instead of relying on quick dopamine without having to rely on my addiction to self-improvement content. I'm still consuming self-help content. And I don't know if that's what is still preventing me from truly changing my life, but I've sort of changed the way I consume this self-help content. I've kind of shifted from short form videos and Instagram to long form videos on YouTube, especially HealthyGamerGG. And I've also started to read books and listen to audiobooks. And I've also started to write down what I remember from those books and videos to actually record the information I'm learning so that I don't forget about them and they don't fall into oblivion and mix in with the other clump of information I've gathered over the years. So I have changed my ways, but I still feel like there's something missing. And I think that something missing is professional help. I am able to change my life in certain ways to a certain degree on my own, but I still don't know how to process and digest the negative emotions that have been brewing inside of me for a decade, if not longer. I truly think professional help is the missing link, is what I'm missing in order to change my life to the degree that I want to change, to truly change from the inside out. And the frustrating thing is, I can't afford to pay for professional help. I really wish I was able to afford therapy so that I could have started therapy sooner. And I truly think everyone needs therapy. And we really need to experiment with therapy. Just because one psychologist didn't really give you the right tools or solutions doesn't mean that therapy just isn't for you. It just means you need to experiment with different psychologists, different psychiatrists, and see who fits best for your circumstances. Now that I know the biggest thing I'm missing is professional help, even though I can't afford it, I will start looking for psychologists and hopefully start therapy in May. I do wish to start therapy in May. So, I'll just have to cut my spending on other areas and allocate all the money I do have to therapy. Until then, I will try to actually implement some of the self-help advice that I've come across so far. I think the biggest thing would be journaling. I've really been neglecting journaling and, answering some questions that need to be answered. I've really been putting off journaling, and I think there are a lot of journal prompts and questions that I need to ask myself and write out the answers to gain clarity and increase the awareness I have when it comes to negative emotions, traumas, past events, how I want my future to look like. I think I really need to start journaling with the intention of actually helping myself process and digest the emotions that have been piling up. So I think there are a few missing pieces of the puzzle. Just going back to the foraging analogy, what's missing isn't the food. It isn't the information. What's missing is the action of preparing, cooking, and eating the food. And if you don't know how to prepare the food, if you don't know how to cook the food, and if you don't know how to eat the food, then no amount of food will satisfy your hunger. So in this case, no amount of self-help information, no amount of self-improvement content will help you unless you know how to bridge the gap between the information and implementing it. Unless you're able to solve for the missing pieces. And it really depends on your specific situation and your personal circumstances. But for me, those missing pieces were and still are finding the courage to act, sitting with my negative emotions, processing and digesting my negative emotions. And in terms of actions, I think a big missing piece for me is my lack of journaling and self-reflection, as well as my lack of professional help. In my case, I really need to sit with my negative emotions. I need to journal about my negative emotions with, journal prompts and questions. And I also need to gain clarity about what I want my life to actually look like in detail. Yeah, just in general, journal prompts and questions to gain more clarity and awareness about my emotions and stories and limiting beliefs. And I also need to go to therapy. No amount of self-help and self-improvement content can replace professional help. And I really wished for that to be the case. I truly wished that the self-help and self-improvement content that I've been consuming can actually replace therapy because I couldn't afford it. But unfortunately, no amount of information can replace one-on-one interaction with a professional psychologist or psychiatrist that would guide you and actually help you in the right direction. There are a lot of things that we can do on our own. We certainly can implement the advice we learn about online or in books. We certainly can do a degree of self-help. We certainly can help ourselves to a certain point. But I think even after helping yourself, if there's still something missing, if you still feel like you can't truly feel the way that you want to, or act and behave the way that you want to, I think the biggest missing piece is professional help. And if one mental health professional isn't a right fit for you, you have to keep searching until you find the best professional help that fits the bill, that really, helps you to get where you want to be. And that might require looking for different modalities of therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy isn't the only type of therapy out there, so you really have to take the time to find what works best for you. And that's certainly what I plan on doing, because helping myself isn't enough. Someone has to teach me how to cook so I can eat the food. So yeah, that'll be all for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider watching my other videos and subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.